Good morning, students. I am with you for a special purpose because, as you all know, this year, University of Kota made slight change in the syllabus of General English, and the book which was previously prescribed is being replaced by this new book, and the name of the book is The Many Worlds of Literature. So, in my previous lectures, I explained about the topics, about the stories from the book which was in the last years it was prescribed for your study. But anyhow, I am here now with some stories which will help you to know, to learn, and to appear for the examination. Today, in this series, I would just like to begin with the first story, and the story is the story of Muhammad Din, written by Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard Kipling is a famous writer, and this story touches certain aspects. It is a very touching and sad story about a little child, and that child is full of life, and his endearing ways win him many friends. He always keeps himself busy with various kinds of games, and the best part was that he could find happiness in the ordinary things, in the small things. He could find happiness, he could play with the broken glasses, with the broken pieces, with things which we generally reject or which we throw. He used to gather those things and decorate it and play and enjoy up to the mark. But this is a tragic story because his life is cut short by an illness, and his sudden demise is felt even by the narrator, who is a white man, and he was a strict man, but somehow he has also showed certain kindness to this small boy. This narrative, it appears to be a very simple narrative, but we find the tinge of colonial situation in the relationship between the master and the servants, and this relationship is clearly, it is I can say, demarcated by fear and authority. On one hand, master is supposed to be the emblem of authority, and servants were supposed to be they used to be scared of their masters. There was a lot of fear. They never dared to stand before their master, and even everybody's entry was also prohibited in the master's house. But somehow it was only this little child who is able to cross it in some measure, and that is why he is a little man. The story begins with the quote, and the quote was, "Who is the happy man?" The answer to this is that a person, the parents who find in their home little children playing, and not only playing crowned with dust, leaping, falling and crying, is the biggest source of joy and happiness to them. Now this has a meaning also, because the narrator seems to be deprived of this pleasure. The story interestingly begins that there was one polo ball, which was an old one, which was scarred, chipped and dented, and one day his khidmatgar, the khidmatgar is a term, Urdu term, which means servant, and the name of the khidmatgar was Imam Din. So Imam Din, one day while cleaning the polo ball, which was kept on mantelpiece, he just asked whether the master needs it or not. And the narrator also feels very surprised that why this man is asking for a ball which is not an attraction for, at least it doesn't seem to have an attraction for this old fellow. But this old fellow then clarifies, and he says that, sir, this my son, my little son, he wants this ball and I need your favor, and if you can give this ball to me, my child who wants it for himself. So things go on like that narrator, he allows him to take the ball, and the moment the ball is given to the small boy, the little child of Imam Deen, narrator could hear the shriek, joyful squeaks and patter of small feet, thumping of small feet, and the voice created by ball, that is thud, thud, thud. It is explained. It is written like that. The thud, thud, thud of the ball rolling along the ground, and the boy, he was so happy, so excited that he did not wait a moment for it, and the moment he got the ball, he started playing. So one day the story just moves on like that. One day when the narrator, he somehow comes an hour early from his office, and he was surprised to see this small child roaming in his house. Now here we can see that due to colonialism and due to the authority and fear, the servants were not allowed to roam freely in master's house, and the child also was not supposed to be there. But suddenly when master comes and he finds that small child, and very beautifully, very nicely it has been described that it was a tiny small plump figure with a shirt which was inadequate, which was so small, which was so short that it could hardly it was halfway down his stubby stomach, and he was roaming with a thumb in his mouth. Since he was so scared to see the master, he gave a yell, and that yell was so loud that it reached the servants' quarter, and next moment, within no time, Imam Deen came and he started cursing the boy, just scolding him, and again repeating the same thing, that, sir, sorry, he is Muhammad Deen, but he is a badmash. And when he said like that, the small boy, the small figure, he looked at the narrator and he said, okay, I am Muhammad Deen, but I am not badmash, I am a man. This utterance also just it touched the heart of narrator, and narrator somehow felt connected with this little boy. And then as time moves on, sometimes he saw this boy playing, though he never came into his house, but he used to play in the garden, and sometimes he used to decorate it with marigold flowers. One day the narrator also got stumbled, and when he found under the ground that there was a polo ball which was half buried under the ground, and he had decorated some broken glass pieces, marigold, dried marigold flowers, and so many things which were very ordinary and which were rejected things, but still the boy used to get pleasure in decorating it. So during his meeting with the boy, though it was from a distance, every time the small boy, in his childlike voice, he used to say Talam Tahib, and the narrator also responded equally, and he said Salam Muhammad Deen. One day when the narrator got stumbled and somebody told Muhammad Deen that sir is very angry, he found again the boy standing before him. He had an apologetic face, and he was saying that Talam Tahib, I don't, sorry. He did not say anything, but he was very much apologetic, and we could notice it from his eyes and expressions. But narrator was softened to him, and he said, no, I'm not angry. And in this way, the time moved on. Sometimes Muhammad Deen, he should build something more than ordinary splendid on the strength of it. But narrator was never disappointed, and he meditated for the better part of an hour, and his crooning rose to a jubilant song. Then he began tracing in the dust. It would certainly be a wondrous palace, this one, for it was 2 yards long and a yard broad in ground plan, but the palace was never completed. So one day he found that the child was making a palace, and that palace was big. It was 2 yards long and a yard broad. The story comes to an end with a pathetic note when one day, next day, there was no Muhammad Deen at the head of the carriage drive, and he couldn't hear Talam Tahib. He asked Imam Deen, and Imam Deen told him that he was suffering from fever and he needed quinine. Quinine is a medicine, is a drug. So he got the medicine and an English doctor. But the English doctor, after examining him, and he came quite disappointed and said that these small children, these Indians, he used the word brats. Brats is a slang which is a mark of disrespect for Indians. So he said these brats, they have no stamina, and the point was that Muhammad Deen succumbed to death, and a week later he saw Muhammad Deen. He saw some Muslim people along with Imam Deen, who was accompanied by his friend, and he was carrying Muhammad Deen in his arms, wrapped in a white cloth, and all that was left of little Muhammad Deen, that is, the child, was no more. So the tragic or untimely demise of the little man shook his emotions, and the narrator was just in a state of despair, and he was remembering of him. So this is a story which is a tragic one, which is very touchy, and it raises certain questions. It just gives the description about the contemporary situation, how colonialism was so much domineering, what was the relationship between the master and the servant in those days, how Britishers, the white men, they had a disrespect for Indians, for black-skinned persons. But the narrator was an exception to it, and he still remembered the manliness, the gestures, the beautiful gestures of that tiny little figure who was no more in the world. So that is all for today. I hope you must have understood the gist of the story, and in my next lectures I'll be coming with few more stories. Thank you.